How do we punch back and show them we aren't prey? Yeah, I can do that.
Star Trek: Strange New Worlds returns for Season 3 with an action-packed and wholly satisfying conclusion to the cliffhanger Captain Christopher Pike, Anson Mount, and the USS Enterprise faced against the Gorn. Directed by Chris Fisher and written by Davey Perez from a story by Henry Alonso Myers and Perez. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 3, Episode 1, Hegemony Part 2, concludes the menace of the Gorn, who had been the series' primary antagonists since Season 1. Hegemony Part 2 is the most thrilling and balanced Star Trek: Strange New Worlds season opener thus far, with every main member of the Starship Enterprise's crew excelling during the Gorn crisis. Thanks to the ingenious problem-solving of Ensign Nyota Uhura, Celia Rose Gooding, Lieutenant Montgomery Scott, and Commander Pelia Carol Kane, Captain Pike found a way to defeat the Gorn and prevent a potential invasion of the United Federation of Planets. Meanwhile, the kidnapped members of the Starship Enterprise crew not only fought their way free of the Gorn mothership, but also rescued the inhabitants of Parnassus Beta that the Gorn held prisoner. Aboard the Enterprise, Lieutenant Spock, Ethan Peck, aided Nurse Christine Chappell, Jess Bush, in saving Captain Marie Battel's, Melanie Scrofano, life from her Gorn infection, displaying the teamwork, camaraderie, optimism, and trust in science at the heart of Star Trek. Here's how the heroes of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds triumphed in Season 3's premiere. How Captain Pike and the USS Enterprise beat the Gorn. Captain Pike found a way to punch back. Against impossible odds, Captain Pike led the Starship Enterprise to a victory against the Gorn by sending the alien reptiles into hibernation. Ensign Uhura and Lieutenant Commander Una Chin Riley, Rebecca Romaine, briefed Pike on Nyota's discovery that Gorn behavior follows a pattern of activity and hibernation tied to the binary star in Gorn space, which is the hidden homeworld of the Gorn hegemony. In short, the Gorn could be induced into hibernation if the Enterprise could mimic the effect of a CME, coronal mass ejection. Commander Pelia and Scotty told Captain Pike that turning the Enterprise into a CME could be possible by modifying the deflector array and creating a magnetic field to draw solar energy from the binary stars to the Enterprise. Of course, Scotty also warned Pike that the Enterprise could easily blow up, but Pike liked those odds and figured they could just shut it off. Ultimately, Pike's gamble worked. The Enterprise briefly became a star and triggered the Gorn's hibernation cycle, sending the alien reptiles back to their homeworld. Captain Pike and the Enterprise putting the Gorn to sleep is similar to how the USS Enterprise D ordered the Borg to sleep in Star Trek: The Next Generations. The best of both worlds. Uhura warned that the increase in Gorn aggression was leading towards an invasion of the Federation, which was also echoed by Admiral Robert April, Adrian Holmes. Unofficially, Captain Pike had orders to punch back against the Gorn. The Starship Enterprise's victory not only
How do we punch back and show them we aren't prey?
punched back, but also prevented the invasion that the Gorn was building towards. The Gorn would eventually become a problem for someone else. However, Pike also noted that this win was temporary, and the Gorn would eventually become a problem for someone else, which is a sly wink towards the Gorn's return against Captain James T. Kirk, William Shatner, in Star Trek: The Original Series. Arena. The Starship Enterprise crew's daring escape from the Gorn explained. The Enterprise also saved the people Parnassus Beta. Aboard the Gorn's destroyer ship, Lieutenant Lon Nunyan Singh, Christina Chong, Dr. Joseph Mbenga, Babs Olyasamakan, Lieutenant Erica Ortegas, Melissa Navia, and Lieutenant Sam Kirk, Dan Chano, freed themselves from their captivity and had to plot out a means of escape to return to the USS Enterprise. Lon faced her trauma from her childhood Gorn abduction, but her previous experience was also the key to saving the kidnapped citizens of Parnassus Beta, who were captured as food for the Gorn. Lon heroically decided that it wasn't enough for her and her friends to escape. They also had to save the Parnassans. Lon was able to access the Gorn's databanks and download the transport codes for all of the Parnassan prisoners. The Starfleet officers then fought the Gorn and fled to a hunter ship to escape, but Ortegas was seriously injured by one of the Gorn, who stabbed her through the torso. Thanks for watching.